Hey guys, and welcome to this movie talk video. So we're going to be talking about the Ayer Cut that's been confirmed by James Gunn. We're going to be talking about the reunion in Fast 11 between Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel. And we're going to be talking about Insidious, The Red Door, becoming the biggest horror movie of 2023 so far. But before we get started with all that, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, to stay up to date with all of the movie news we have going on around here. So let's get started by talking about the Ayer Cut. David Ayer has revealed that James Gunn promised to release his version of the Suicide Squad, known as the Ayer Cut, in the future. Despite concerns, the release of the Ayer Cut would not harm the DC Universe reboot, as it's separate from Gunn's new DC Universe. The release of the Ayer Cut would not generate as much demand for the sequel as Zack Snyder's Justice League did. Suicide Squad director David Ayer reveals James Gunn's Ayer Cut promise. As new creative chief of DC Studios, Gunn has the power to decide what movies will be released by the studio, and one of those could very well be the Ayer Cut of 2016's Suicide Squad. The version of the movie that ended up on the big screen was heavily changed by the studio, and Ayer has been campaigning for years to see the vision become public, with the happy ending now seemingly on the horizon. According to the director, Gunn has promised that his version of the movie will be released one day, with Ayer saying, quote, "Gunn told me that it would have its time to be shared." The Suicide Squad director also said that he understands the Ayer Cut taking some time to be released, and Gunn is currently focused on launching his new DC universe, with the DC creative chief writing and directing 2025's Superman Legacy, the first DCU movie. So let's discuss why the Suicide Squad Ayer Cut won't hurt the DCU reboot. So releasing the Ayer Cut of the Suicide Squad now would not damage the DC Universe reboot in any way. Following the release of December's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the last DCEU movie, the past live-action DC continuity will largely be over, save for the announcement of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman 3. That's up for discussion yet, guys, whether the new Wonder Woman film would be in the DCU reboot or still be part of the DCEU Zack Snyder universe canon. We're not really sure on that yet. So, with the movies being set in a world envisioned by director Zack Snyder coming to an end, the release of the Ayer Cut of Suicide Squad would present little harm to the new DC universe. Gunn has already released a beloved follow-up to the Ayer Suicide Squad, 2021's The Suicide Squad, which served as a soft reboot to the original. The movie led to the creator of Peacemaker, and with Gunn confirming that the series will move over to the new DC Universe for a Season 2, fans know that any ties with the DCEU Suicide Squad moving forward will be related to Gunn's The Suicide Squad, even if the Ayer Cut is released. Because of that, the release of the Ayer Cut of the Suicide Squad would generate less demand for Ayer to direct a sequel to his movie, rather than the way that Max released Zack Snyder's Justice League led to a campaign to see Snyder finish his Justice League trilogy. With Gunn's focus turned to the 2025 DCU reboot, the Ayer Cut of Suicide Squad will likely only arrive at home video or Max in a few years. So guys, with that down, we're going to jump into our next topic here. Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel reunion in Fast 11 teased by director. Fast and Furious 11 director teases the reunion between Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel as the Fast saga begins to come to a close. Director Louise Leterrier is excited about the reunion between Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson in Fast and Furious 11. Leterrier believes it will be great for the franchise and the fans to see Dom Toretto and Hobbs back together. The upcoming film, Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Reyes, will serve as a bridge between Fast X and Fast and Furious 11, setting up Hobbs' role in the final installment. Speaking with comicbook.com, Leterrier has expressed how thrilled he is that Diesel and Johnson will be reuniting as Dom and Hobbs in the upcoming Fast and Furious 11. Leterrier explained how he likes the idea of the characters reuniting and how exciting it will be to see them on the big screen together again. Check out what Leterrier had to say below. Quote, "I just like the idea of them coming back together. What I realised, I'm like you, I was a fan reading. They've been talking all along. They were like text buddies wishing each other happy birthday, Merry Christmas, but being in each other's lives. It's more like with these two characters work in the same universe, especially since Hobbs and Shaw was a different tone. It was such a different departure from the original franchise. We collectively looked at each other and said, frankly, wouldn't it be great, not only for the franchise, but also for the fans and for you guys, for us to get back on the same train together. And that's a conversation they had. It was lucky to be able to work with Dwayne that one day, and possibly more looking forward." When Johnson returns as Hobbs in Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Reyes, he will be Reyes' new target on his quest for revenge for his father's death in Fast 5. The film will no doubt be action-packed thrill ride like the other Fast and Furious movies, but will also serve to set up Hobbs' role in Fast and Furious 11. While it's unclear what happened to some characters by the end of Fast X, the idea of Dom and Hobbs teaming up in Fast and Furious 11 could hint at the pair trying to save everyone from Reyes' wrath. However, nothing concrete is known about Fast and Furious 11 yet, beyond Dom and Hobbs' reunion. It's safe to say that Reyes will still be the main threat as the Fast saga comes to a close, and that Dom and his family will have to reunite in order to stop him for good. How Dom, Hobbs, and the rest of the family deal with Reyes in Fast and Furious 11 remains to be seen, but will no doubt involve the high-octane action that the Fast and Furious franchise is known for. So with that down, guys, we're going to go over to our third and final topic of this video, and we're going to be talking about Insidious: The Red Door, and how it beats Megan at the box office, becoming the biggest horror movie of 2023 so far. Insidious: The Red Door surpasses Megan to become the biggest horror hit of the year. The Insidious franchise has earned over $735 million worldwide, making it the most successful supernatural horror franchise. Insidious: The Red Door is a satisfying conclusion to the main Lambert trilogy, though it received mixed reviews from critics. Last month's long-awaited sequel, Insidious: The Red Door, has become the biggest horror hit of the year so far, beating the likes of Megan, Scream, The Evil Dead Rise. According to a report by Deadline, the Insidious follow-up has now grossed $182.5 million at the worldwide box office, topping Megan's equally impressive $180.8 million. This year has been a solid one for horror, with the likes of Scream earning $169 million, Evil Dead Rise bringing in $146.7 million, The Pope's Exorcist starring Russell Crowe earning $76 million. The impressive box office taking now achieved by Insidious: The Red Door also makes the fifth installment the most successful in the supernatural horror franchise, which in total has earned $735 million worldwide. Released back in July, Insidious: The Red Door is set 10 years after the end of the previous first two movies. 2010's Insidious and 2013's Insidious Chapter 2 finds Josh Lambert heading east to drop his son Dalton off at an idyllic, ivy-covered university. However, Dalton's college dream soon becomes a nightmare when repressed demons of his past suddenly return to haunt them both. While Insidious: The Red Door was a huge success at the box office, the huge sequel was met with mixed reviews from critics upon release. Now at 39% on the review aggregator site Rotten Tomatoes. Someone who found much to enjoy in Insidious: The Red Door was the movie web's own Richard Fink, who found the follow-up to be a satisfying conclusion to the franchise. He went on to say, quote, "Insidious: The Red Door not only puts the franchise back on track, but it serves as an effective conclusion to the main Lambert trilogy of films, while also tying nicely into the two prequel films to make a solid horror saga. It brings a story that started in the 2011 to a satisfying conclusion. It might not be as scary as the original, but it gets pretty close." Though Insidious: The Red Door may be the final outing in the main series, it's far from the end of the Insidious franchise, as a spin-off is already in development. Titled Thread, an Insidious tale. Creator and producer James Wan has teased what audiences can expect from the project. Yeah, Thread basically kind of takes off from the world of The Further in the same way that when I look at the Conjuring films, I go, hey, the Warrens have a haunted museum. There's so many different haunted artifacts that we can kind of spin off stories from, and The Thread really is something of the same spirit, the filmmaker said last month. So guys, with that down and out of the way, that's all the movie news we have for today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and talk some movies with me. Jump down to the comment section, let me know what you think about this video, guys, and I will see you soon.